Brooklyn is Africa, a borough of inclusion, a continent of invention. That's the title of an exhibit of African art which opens this coming Friday at the Skylight Gallery at the Center for Arts and Culture, part of this year's 50th anniversary for Bed-Stuy Restoration. About 50 pieces will be on display, a small sample of a collection of about 2,500 pieces. They come from all 54 African nations, but they were all collected by one man.
Guess what? He's here. He is Eric Edwards, the co-curator and founder of the Cultural Museum of African Art in Bedford-Stuyvesant. And we're delighted to welcome him to BK Live right now. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful program.
Absolutely. And we're also happy to have Hollis King, the co-curator and creative director at the Center for African Arts and Culture. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Eric, let's get started with you. How did you start collecting and curating all of this art?
Well, I started in the very early 70s, precisely around 1971. And how did I start? I started by being inspired by my father at a very young age, and myself, my brother Milton, and my sister Myrna Edwards. And he felt that we must know who we were as a people, where we came from in our culture, so that we can be very proactive and vibrant contributors to society. And he felt that could not be possible unless we knew who we were as a people, so we could be respected, and most importantly, respect ourselves and feel confident in our heritage and our people's history, which emanates from Africa and their contributions to the world. So he set upon teaching us historical history and culture. He was not a collector of artifacts or art, but he loved books, and he loved reading, and he loved history. And he was an immigrant of Barbados, and he came to this country when he was 17 years old. And he was aghast when he found out in New York City that they didn't teach any of these things to the general population at large, but especially people of color. So he felt they still don't, and without that anchor, you would be lost. So he was dead set that his children would not endure that.
Well, they still don't, but Mr. Co-Curator, we know that there are some entities that do. I know your phone starts ringing a lot around February, but this is a mission that happens year-round for you.
Yeah, the Center for Arts and Culture under Dr. Inder Etwaru is dedicated to bringing world-class to Bed-Stuy. So Eric is a perfect fit for us, and the collection is just mind-blowing. So we are proud to have this amazing opening on Friday, where we are going to represent the art in the most beautiful setting, and we're going to have great food and great music to go along with it. We expect everybody to come out and see the show.
Well, so let's take a look at some of these images. How did you guys go about picking the 50 that you whittled it down to from the larger collection?
I think for me, as someone who is outside of Eric's collection.
You have 5 feet back from the whole
Yeah, first
picture.
you go in and you get stunned by the amazing beauty about it. But we focus on creativity, excellence, and discipline.
What is this piece?
Yeah,
This
who are we
is-
looking at, Mr. Edwards?
Yeah.
This piece is an Igbo, from the Igbo culture, or the Igbo culture of Nigeria in Africa. And it's a spiritual flying helmet mask. So this is actually worn on the head of a spiritual person or a dancer. And it represents, in a transcendental state, the accompaniment or the passage from one life to the next, that transcendental state where the spirit is accompanied to the next life, and that spirit is also a protector of those descendants that he or she leaves behind.
Well, that's one down. We got another image here.
What we have here is from the Tikar people of the Cameroons, and this is a very powerful and it's also royal, and this is worn in a secret society of the Bamileke, really the Tikar people, as far as educating young men how to become, or young adults, how to become men. So it's a result of training, many years of training and education, where they are initiated into the higher realm of the Tikar society, and they have to take their position of responsibility to protect their elders, to protect the young, protect the woman, and the people of that society.
All right, Mr. King, what are we looking at here?
What we have is from the ancient Nok culture, NOK of northern Nigeria. And this is a kingdom, an ancient kingdom in Africa. It was a very important kingdom dating back to over 2,000 years old. This particular piece is carbon dated, thermoluminescent attested, over 2,000 years old. And this represents the sculpture of the royals, if you will, within that particular society, and it's a terracotta piece made from various stones.
So if we're looking at over 2,000 years from over 54 countries across the continent, how do you begin to even display these things?
Yeah.
Well, I think you look at the representation of women, the representation of men, the representation of children and initiation and fertility and agriculture. And you try to cover all of these in the most magnificent way. So the Nok piece that you have up there is very rare to find something of that size in that condition.
Terracotta, that's over, I can't keep
It's
a terracotta
so rare.
pot for one summer.
This
is over 2,000 years old.
This piece is so extremely rare to see, even in a museum.
Right.
And
I
so
feel as though I've seen similar ones, but not
like this.
whole.
Not like this. And the sophistication of the expression in the piece tells you that these societies were highly developed.
So I have a question. No, go in there. Get in. Hurry.
I was going to say, Hollis, Brooklyn is Africa.
Yeah.
I mean,
The whole of
talk to us
Africa
about
is
that?
in Brooklyn. The whole Africa is in Brooklyn, and we are bringing the art to them where they belong.
I think we have one more image, actually.
Yes.
Yes, this particular piece, which is very important to me because this represents the woman of Africa. And in African culture, women are extremely important, extremely powerful, and acknowledged as so within the various different cultures and societies and ethnic groups of Africa. This particular piece is from the Kono's secret society of what is known as the Sandy Secret Society in Sierra Leone. Now, what does that mean? The young girls who are educated to become women, they go into secret training, separate and set apart from the society at large. Their mothers and parents are not even invited to engage in the training of these particular young people. And they engage in that training for a number of years. And upon graduation, they are led out by the headmistress, who wears an outfit or a costume, and the helmet that she wears is similar to what you see here. And this represents that the girls have went through education of scientific training, agricultural training, herbal training.
Just the whole gamut of what you need to be a contributing woman in society.
And all aspects, 360 degrees of what the society requires them to be contributors and caretakers for the people and the youth that
So in our last 30 seconds, I want to see them 15 and 15. I know that we're working to get a physical plant for the museum so people can actually come, because now it's a museum, but there isn't a physical space to come.
We are hoping and projecting that we will have a building within the community that's going to be impressive and befitting of Bed-Stuy by the end of this year, 2017.
So, Mr. King, where are we going?
We are going all the way up to the top with this.
Well, where can we
Where physically can we go?
It's going to be at 1368 Fulton Street on the 3rd floor at the Skylight Gallery.
At the
It
top.
starts at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And it's being opened by the Ron Brown Evidence Dance Company.
Awesome.
Excellent.
They're in residence here. We're old friends with Ron
And
Brown.
I guess I can
Thank you
add
so
also
much.
Joloff will be doing the catering, a Senegalese
Hey, we love
restaurant.
Pop.
Like Pop.
These are all friends of ours.
Excellent.
We'll see you at
Thank
the
you so
Skylight
much for
Gallery.
joining us.
Thank you all.